Should you learn MySQL SQL in 2024? You reached the right video. Let me explain. This video was brought to you by DigiLink Academy, your #1 source to learning programming fast and get to that six-figure salary you desire. Our 30-day project course includes our JavaScript front-end projects, our Python back-end projects, our SQL database projects, and much, much more. So go ahead and click the link below to our free 7-step guide so that you can start reaching your programming goals today. I'll see you guys in the course. All right, guys, let's jump right into this, guys. The quick answer is yes. There's a lot of value into learning MySQL, but I want to get into some of the pushback that you get from this language and also the benefits as well. Traditionally speaking, I'm just gonna say big brother. I know technically it's not, but typically people see MySQL as a secondary option to MS SQL or Oracle or some kind of enterprise level structured query language option. But in actuality, as far as just market share and usability for a lot of web apps and things like this, MySQL is widespread, and even Oracle bought them out. So, you know, that perception is dwindling each day, and it's at a point to where now, even in some enterprise applications, they can actually be a very viable and scalable option. But at the end of the day, guys, when you are having base projects that's just doing basic stuff, and then you're not really providing value to the end user as far as just the capability that's there or leveraging any of that capability, that's where the perception kind of start to look down upon MySQL, only because you're not really leveraging the possibilities that you got. And we'll go over some of this in the video, guys. But before we get started, tell me why you are trying to learn MySQL. Why are you trying to get a job, projects, you're struggling, you're just trying to figure out your roadmap, your plan to be a software developer? Comment below. Tell me about your story and I can help you guys out. We can start a conversation in the comment section and kind of get started there, because I like MySQL. I personally started off with it back in the day, still use it today. A lot of my web apps, especially with small applications, is perfect and it is free. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, a lot of that's because of that. But you know, other options are free as well, as far as just their bottom tiers. But I feel like with MySQL, you can use that as a long-term solution versus other free software development packages or database packages where they just use that to kind of reel you in, and then eventually you have to upgrade because you can't do something like store procedures in their free tier. But MySQL, you get the full package out of the gate for free in most situations. So at the end of the day, you're able to do a lot more and scale out if you know how to leverage it and use scalable code too, guys, at the end of the day. So let's go over some of the benefits. The good news is, even if you start with MySQL, it's so similar to the others, you're going to be able to dive right into the other ones as well. You got the basic select statement, modify, update, all that stuff, delete. It's typical structured query language statements, guys. So you're covered on that front. And also the amount of projects you can do is endless. A lot of popular softwares, a lot of stuff in cPanel. In most cPanel's on there too, but most applications in cPanel. You got WordPress, you got Joomla, you got so much different stuff that uses MySQL. It will really give you some exposure to start to build out. But we want you guys to get beyond just the basic stuff. I just did a project video on Java front-end development. Go check that out. We go over some front-end development projects. Most, if not all, of those options that I talk about in that video uses MySQL as the database source. And you can do a lot with MySQL, guys. But at the end of the day, your project's got to reflect value. And your project's got to be able to solve problems and be able to do it in a reasonable time and a scalable option as well. The worst thing you can have is a slow MySQL database or an exposed MySQL database. And that's where most of the fear is going to come in as far as just the back end exposure to the internet, the ability to be hacked only because people just don't have best practices. And a lot of that can be cured by just learning the right things about MySQL, not just the query language and the statements, but how to protect the database as well. That's going to be key too as well. And you don't have to go into a lot of elaborate. It's just like anything else, guys, just like your house. You can do a few things that'll go a long way to actually protect your house. I always like to use the 80-20 rule. You can do 20%, that'll do 80% of the work to help protect your house and protect your database as well. You know, put locks on the doors, make sure you use multi-factor authentication to log in, use a lot of geo access stuff. This is gonna really put those necessary layers to kind of put you above the typical security base of a MySQL database. So at the end of the day, with MySQL, a lot of the learning is gonna be, hey, the interaction between your application, I'm gonna say your front-end application versus accessing that back-end database. A lot of guys, I can go over the SQL statements. It got a ton of videos out there about that. We're not gonna really hit on that because I know at the end of the day, just Google MySQL statements. You'll get, hey, how to set it up, how to select data out of it. You got sample data, things like that. You can go do a Google on that. But what I want to talk about is the actual impactful stuff that a typical business would ask you for as well. Something like, hey, can you add a table for the secondary module that I'm gonna be leveraging? You want to be able to go through that. We touch base in that with our 7-step guide, guys. Links below to that. We get into different options for MySQL, a lot of project-based stuff that you can put on the resume, and also a lot of stuff that's going to allow you to learn and do project-based learning as well in our 7-step guide below. And also, if you already got our 7-step guide, go check out our 30-day Launchpad course. We got some good deals on that right now. Prices will increase, so go ahead and take advantage of that today so that we can really put you in a position to win and learn MySQL so that you can get ahead of the competition, guys. But at the end of the day, what I want you guys to understand, what I really want you guys to take away from this video is you're on the right track, you're doing good, and congratulations. You know, you have made it this far to where you actually picked a solution or a programming language. I'm just gonna say language, or a language or structured query language that will help you take your career to the next level, to help you learn, and you can branch off into other programming languages to get that. Now that you picked the right language, you just got to make sure you do the projects that's gonna allow you to learn rapidly and also provide value during each stage of your career. So right now you're just trying to learn, which is you're doing a great job of that as far as learning elements of MySQL. Now it's time to really put those projects together to showcase your value and put you ahead of the competition, guys. Like, subscribe to the content. If you have additional questions, comment below. Tell me about your struggles, guys. Tell me about things that you see beneficial for MySQL that I didn't cover in this video. And if you haven't already, go check out the goodies in the description box, the premium courses. And also I'll put a link here on the screen for the 7-step guide. And I'll see you guys in the next video.